Hey y'all, Grandma Rose here. It is after Christmas, before New Year's, and I was sitting here knitting and I was just thinking, I always start a new pair of socks in the holidays after Christmas, before New Year's. A lot of people start their socks on Christmas Eve. Others wait until New Year's Eve, or New Year's Day even, and I think New Year's Day is probably a pretty good idea, to start a new pair of socks on the first day of the year. And then you kind of know how long it's going to take you to knit them. Some people zip through them and finish a pair of socks in a couple of weeks. And I usually take a lot longer than that because I'm working on other things at the same time and not just socks. Socks are generally a project that I take along with me if I'm going somewhere and I know I'm going to be sitting for a long time and don't have anything to keep my hands busy and keep myself occupied. So if I'm going to the doctor's office, I'll put a pair of socks that I'm working on, or a sock and a ball of yarn that I'm working on, and in my purse, and take it along with me. People who met me at the Deep South Gathering this past March remember me knitting because I brought my knitting along with me, and I was knitting on a pair of socks at that time too. So I will show you what I'm working on. I'm working on a pair of socks, like I said. This, I don't know that you can even tell the color of it. Let me get this close to the camera. I hope I don't have any cat hair or dog hair in it. But it's a pretty, you see all the colors, how pretty it is? It's got purples and pinks and oranges and just nice, pretty color. Hold it away from the camera. It looks brown. So I'm knitting a pair of brown socks. And this is how far I've gotten. I'm on the cuff. This is where I start usually. I usually do cuff down. And then so you knit down on the cuff, and then you get to the point as long as you want it to be. Then you work on the rest of it. So let me show you. The front of it has this gorgeous cable. I'm not going to show you how to do a cable like this. But isn't that pretty? Look at that. It's a double cable. And then turn it around on the back side of it, and it's got a little cable. But it's nice, and it's fun to work on. When you're an experienced knitter, it's more fun to work on something that has a little bit of a pattern to it. Otherwise, it gets kind of boring knitting round and round and round. But if you're a new knitter, sometimes knitting round and round and round is the best thing to do. And actually knitting in the round, like I'm going to teach you how to do, is probably easier than anything else. You just it's in a spiral actually. You're going a spiral round and round and round and round. And eventually, let me show you, here it is. So there's the hole. So you just go round and round and round. And here's my knitting needles. And I'm just going round and round and round. This is another technique I will show you how to do, and it's called magic loop. For me, this is the easiest way to knit in the round. Other people might disagree. Some of you who are knitters may have learned to knit on called double pointed needles. What I intend to do, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm going to start a pair of socks on New Year's Day. And I thought, well, while I am starting this pair of socks, I might as well bring you along with me. So that's what I'm going to do. But before New Year's Day, if you want to start a pair of socks, I need to give you a couple of days to get your yarn and get your needles. And if you haven't knit before, to learn how to cast on your stitches. So I will do that, either a video either tomorrow is Saturday, today is Friday, tomorrow or Sunday, and get this up so you can see casting on and how to cast on. And then on Monday, not Monday, well actually I will do this on Monday, so for me it will actually be casting on New Year's Eve. But for you, I will put up the video on New Year's Day, and you can cast on a pair of socks on New Year's Day and knit along with me. And at each stage I will stop and I will record a video as I am doing the next step. So the first thing I will do will be to cast on the edge up here at the top, cast on a row of stitches here, and then I'll work a couple of inches in ribbing. And in this case, you need to know how to do the purl stitch. So perhaps what I need to do is teach cast on, and then to show how to do the knit stitch and show how to do the purl stitch. So you will already know how to do this, and then when it's time to start your socks, I won't have to teach you how to do those stitches. And we'll just cast on and start knitting on the cuff. And then when you get your cuff as long as you want it to be, these are about 1.5 inches to 2 inches, enough to hold your socks up. And that's one thing that the cuff does. You've probably noticed that on sweaters. It pulls in and it gathers up to make a smaller fabric. I have the same number of stitches here as I do down here, and look how much wider that looks, simply because of the way the stitches are on the needles. So we're going to do that. I'm going to show you how to cast on for a pair of socks, how to knit the cuff, and then we'll show you how to continue on the leg, and then I will show you that. So I'll do a cast on video, a knitted the cuff video, knitting the leg video. We may do a little bit of a pattern on the leg, and then when we finish the leg, we'll do the heel, and I will do another video on doing the heel. So, and then I will continue at each step along the way and do a video. So this will be a series of videos on how to knit a pair of socks, from the casting on to the binding off at the end. And I think that's going to be fun, and I hope you'll take you along with me. So, we're going to have fun. Bye, y'all. See you next time.